So here I am. Welcome to Porch Talk Part 2 on life after retirement. So I'm on number 4. Listen to Part 1 because it's got some good valuable information on how to kind of re-engage yourself after or when you start to mature, to kind of change gears and get ready for retirement, or if you're already in retirement, ways that you can, like say, re-engage yourself socially, to be able to be part of the world, right? So the next one is awaken your creativity. So when we're raising children, all of that, we've got put so much stuff on the back burner. I'm a painter. I crochet. Anything arty, I do. I'm the art meister. I am the creativity master. And I put a lot of stuff on the back burner. I love to cook. I love to bake. Obviously, I had a restaurant, so I was very good at all those. And start a book. Write a book about your life to give to your children, maybe. I have 2 books coming out. One is called Born to Be a Unicorn, and it's about my life as a young girl, the things that I went through being a shiny spirit. We're all shiny spirits, but this is just my personal story of some things that happened to me that I think that people can apply to their life and help them through tough spots, and how it affects you well through your life. But I have been feverishly writing that book, and I'm on my, honestly, 2nd year. I put it down for a long time because I just didn't feel motivated. I feel motivated now. So I'm back writing that. My 2nd book I'm writing is called The Forging Fires of Life, and it's about the things that we go through and how you have to allow yourself to go to the fire of recreation. You got to throw all the things out that you don't like, things that aren't working for you, and then you, then you let the fire forge all of those negative things out of your life, and you recreate yourself, right? So that's super important. But now is a good time to, it says, chase your dreams. They're closer than you think. So reignite your passions, reignite things that you've put on the back shelf. If you love to sew, you like to make quilts, crocheting, there's so many things, painting, if you're a health person, get back into that. I planted a garden. I spend outdoors every day with my gardens and my flowers, and I find that nature. And also, I live by the St. Mary's River. I go down to the dock. I throw crab traps in. I just sit by there and watch the tides go in and out. When it's full moon, I'm at the dock. When the stars are out, there's a meteor shower, I'm outside on my porch. I love nature, and I'm fortunate. God has blessed me with a place to stay that I can enjoy nature every single day. I go fishing, I go crabbing, I shrimp. I do it alone. I don't care. I don't care. I do whatever strikes me as fun at the moment. So, I'm always doing something, always finding an activity. But do those things. Take a lesson on a craft that you've been wanting to learn. Jewelry making, painting, crocheting, painting, music, sewing, all of those things. Guys, woodworking, playing a guitar, learn a musical instrument. There's so many things you can do. Men's prayer groups. Get in a group like that. Help people. Hunting groups. All different kind of things. And finally, I like this one. I like this card. It says, your mind is a powerful thing. Fill it with positive thoughts. So if you're saying, no, I can't do those things, I'm too old now, stop saying that. I promise you can. You should. You need to. You gotta keep your brain connected. Don't let everybody tell you can't do that. It's just not true. If you want to do it, you do it. And re-engage yourself. I will be doing something. I hope that when I die, that I have crochet needles in my hand. I hope I'm writing something. I hope I'm making a video. I hope that I am blessed doing something that I love. Yeah, that's my hope and my prayer to God. So every day may not be a good day, but there's something good in every day. That's something else that we have to learn to do as we get older and we get challenges, health challenges, correct those, number one, as soon as you can. Challenges with personal relationships, things like that. You have to learn that even though those challenges come our ways, they're actually lessons. They're lessons sent by God for us to learn what we need to do to fix things. But ultimately, every day that you wake up, before you put your feet on the ground, you say, thank you, God, for this wonderful day, for this wonderful gift that you're giving me. How can I be of service to you? And you think of something that you can do to make it a good day. Every day is a good day. It is. But it starts up here. You got to remember that. Super important. And so I'm looking down here at my cards. So when I'm out in nature, I do a lot of deep breathing, and I do kind of meditative breathing every day. My son does it. A lot of people I know do it, and it's a way to center yourself and refocus yourself and get you back into your center zone. And so important to do that when something comes up and it frustrates you or riles you. Don't go for a diversionary tactic. Say a prayer. Go into your quiet space. But what I like to do, it says I inhale peace and I exhale tension. Such a good thing. Anything that you're in that, if you feel like it's going to turn into an argument, step back, say, I'm not going to talk about this right now. I need a moment. Go do some deep breathing. Go say a prayer. Go read the Bible if you have to. Go to your prayer place. Get yourself centered again. Don't get into an argument and spew a bunch of stuff that you're going to regret, stuff that you've got to then backpedal and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. When you do that, you're giving your power away. Don't give your power away. You just hold on to it and try to, in your mind, recreate a better way to handle that. Breathing in, breathing out does magnificent. And this one I love. It says you have to fight through bad days to earn the blessing, to earn the best days of your life. So yes, you know what? Me losing weight, I lost a job, I lost a mate, I lost some health issues. When I had that car accident, I had to do a lot of work. I had to do a lot of inner work. I was drinking a lot. I was self-medicating. I was definitely using diversionary tactics. And so, I had to let all that go. And it was hard to let go, but I really had to do some personal introspection. And I did a lot of prayer. I did a lot of positive talk stuff. I did a lot of self-inventory, reasserting my boundaries and saying these are the things that I need to do to regain, my mental health and get back on the track and start enjoying this life. And so when you're having stressful moments, I am kind to myself during moments of stress. We need to remember to be kind on ourselves, to ourselves. When someone's telling you things or they're being mean to you, it's really hard sometimes to hold back and not snap back and fight back. So, you got to be kind to yourself, and you got to say those things are not true. Maybe go into your quiet zone, breathe in, breathe out, and say, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of God's love. I am, whatever power statements you can make, say those things. Not I am stupid, not I am fat, because anything you say after I am, it's going to show up in your life. Your life is going to go, okay, no problem. But if you say, I am fierce, I am fearless, I am powerful, everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I touch turns to success. Guess what? Your life is going to do everything it can to bring that into the forefront in your life. So just remember, always positive thoughts. So I'm going to go over my last points, which is build your legacy. So now is the time. It says, what wisdom, stories, values, and lessons do you want to leave behind for those who come after you? Now's a good time to start thinking about that. So thinking about the end is can be sad for some people, but it can also be a real thing of joy for you to pull out your old pictures, for you to, like, I have 3 children. I've divided them into storybooks for each one of my children. The little things that I crocheted them, the pictures, different special things that I did, the stuff that they gave me. I saved all of that. I'm sorry for the wiggling. Sorry, I touched it with my foot. But so I've started writing little stories and putting books together. And before I pass away, I will always make sure and have this so that my life is passed on. Lessons that I've learned, and the joyful things that they can all be passed on to my family members. And so my family isn't going to go, well, what happened? No, have it all done. Write your story. And I'm going to videotape my eulogy. I don't want anybody crying for me. Nobody. Because even though people may miss me if something happens, that's our human side. Being selfish, but being sorrowful when you lose things, it's like that. But I also want people to understand there's so much joy in moving on. I've watched people who are in extreme amount of pain and agony, and when they died, I rejoiced that they were released from the body that caused them so much pain. The agony that these people went through is hard to imagine. I saw it right in front of my eyes. I rejoiced when the man that I was taking care of, he had Alzheimer's, he didn't even know who he was. I rejoiced watching him leave his body and join his family. People who are crippled, I rejoice the release of the human spirit to go to God, to the universe, reincarnation, whatever you believe in. I rejoice the end, and I want people to rejoice when that happens to me. God sent me here for a reason. God sent me here maybe to teach people my lessons, to show people the way. And I'm not sad about the things that have happened to me. There's been a lot of sadness, a lot of tragedy in my life. I will admit that. But through the dark things in my life, I have learned at my age the beauty of the world. And it could have been there for me all along if I had let God into my life, but I didn't. I followed the path of the world. Followed all the things that I thought were valuable, that the world told me, that I had to be to be of value. And during that 5 years, I learned to restructure what was valuable to me, and I learned to restructure the direction that I wanted my life to go in. And really, I took a big sideways step off the path of the world, which is full of, if you want to call it sin, you want to call it disillusionment, it will not lead you to anywhere good. So I learned to love me, to love God, and refocused and recentered what I wanted to leave to the world. So that's what we're going back to, is building your legacy, your pictures. Get them in order. Think about your final plans. I hate to talk about this, but I don't want my family planning a funeral. I don't want to be buried. I want to be cremated, and I want something lovely to happen with my ashes. I want my family to have a party and rejoice about what a blessed life that I've had. And there's been sorrow, and there's been a lot of challenges, but there's so much joy. And when you see me being emotional, it's not for the things that happened to me. It's for the joy that I feel because God was merciful on me, and because I'm now doing what I am supposed to be doing, giving my life to God and giving my life to people. I'm helping people. That's very important to me. God have mercy on me, because by all means, I didn't deserve to be here. I was very sin-filled, full of sin person, who did a lot of harm to my children and my family, and I drank and I drugged and caused a lot of harm, and but you know what, thank God that today is a new day, and the Lord has blessed me, and I am forgiven, and my family has forgiven me, but they see who I am now. They see the joy and my love for them, and the love that I want to share with everybody. They know that I'm not that person anymore. So glory be to God that I am a new person, and I give all the glory to God. I really do. And if you don't know God, I suggest that you do, and and get into a church. I go to 1122. It's a big church, but they're rejoicing, their songs, the amount of groups that they have, everything. The amount of activity that you want to have, you can find it all in a church, but don't give up on God. Don't feel like because things didn't happen your way in life that God doesn't love you, because I felt that way. I really, truly did. But I know that it was because I had my eyes over there. I had my eyes on the world. I didn't have my eyes to the Lord. I didn't have my eyes in the direction that I should have been in. But you know what? I'm human. I make mistakes. We all learn. I have a friend who says, I learn hard. I have to put my hand on the stove twice to realize that it's hot. I had to do that sometimes 3 and 4 times, I feel like. But you know what? I know, and I've learned, and I'm so blessed that I've been able to, recoup. That I've been able to recoup myself. So many people get lost and they never do. They never do. They die in sorrow. They die in bitterness. My mother did. She did. She was very angry. She was very bitter. And she was so talented. All the talent that I've got, all my looks, everything from my mother. And she squandered it because she got old. She ate that word every morning for breakfast. I'm old. Nobody wants me. That was not true. She had so much to give, and she threw it away, and she didn't know God. But I bless my mother, and I forgive her. I know she had a tough life, but I wish that she had. I hope that she has found peace wherever she is. She deserves peace. She had a lot of stuff happen to her, and sometimes that's where we gotta go. We gotta say, God, I forgive my parents or other people, because you don't know what they went through. You haven't walked in their shoes. You haven't walked a mile in their shoes, as they say. And people who want to judge me, you know what you think of me is none of my business. And there's people that still may judge me on my past. And, and that is up to them. If they don't want to see the spark and the light of God and the love of life in me, then that's up to them. And so I know you see my heart, and I make these hearts. I will be selling these soon. I'm definitely working on them. I had 2 birthdays and a birth of a grandbaby, a great grandbaby, so I haven't spent as much diligent time working on these necklaces, but I make them. They shine. They go with everything that you wear. I make the chains. I make the stones. And also all these cards that you see that I'm using, I'll be selling this too. So it just is a matter, I get a little bit of time and catch up. I swear I'll have all of that listed. And you can go into my comments section, and you can see some pictures of the gorgeous place that I live, and I try to post pictures of the cards. To place pictures of the cards in there that I use. Also, I may do little shorts on, just put this card up and do a little a pleasant little short, something that you can send to your friends, something you can uplift somebody, something that you may need it, something you can put on your Facebook page, or send out to somebody who just needs it. I want to be able to provide those things. The cards that I offer, I have cards that you can just, for instance, I give them out when I go to restaurants. Any place that I get excellent service from somebody, I'm giving them, and I write them a note, thank you for your excellent service. Thank you for giving me your best. Bless you. I hope your day gets better. Watch me on Porch Talk. I do talks about life. I use them to advertise my stuff, but I also use it to bless people. You can bless people all over with a smile, with a kind word, with a genuine compliment. That's what we're here to do. We're here to build people up. We're here to lift people up. We're not here to belittle people and judge people and, say unkind things to people. And, and if you are, you really should stop, because that's going to come back on you. Karma, when they say karma is a biatch, no lie. The things that you do will come back on you. And so if you've been one of those people, start doing kind things. Start paying it forward. Start building a bonus, an account with God, so they'll have mercy when it comes to you, And I've built my account up. I built my account up, But just some small things that you can do. Think about your final plans. Taking care of these details can eliminate a lot of suffering for your family. For instance, going through clothing, old clothing, your dad's, if your husband's died, get rid of those things. Give them out. Give them to people who may need them. Bless somebody else with them. Don't hold on to them. Pick a few precious things that you want, but don't make your family go through a household of stuff and have your family all over going through all that, crying, smelling your clothes. I've seen it up close and personal, and it's tragedy. The sorrow that you feel from the loss of losing that person, it is amplified greatly if you make your family go through that. Don't do that to your family. Start early, start donating, start, lowering the amount of possessions that you have. If you have a precious piece of jewelry that you want to give a granddaughter or a daughter, or I had a man who, he had money and he had a will, but he gave each one of his grandchildren and his children $5,000. And this was probably 2 months before he passed away. And he said, I want to see you enjoy my blessing to you. Now, they got more after he passed away, but I thought that was such a nice thing to do. He all gave him coins that he had saved. I took his wife's jewelry. She had like pearl jewelry, and like I said, I make jewelry. I took them all apart, and I made a special pair of earrings for each grandchild. I made a necklace. I made a ring. I made things, and then he re-gifted those to the children so they had a memory of their mother. I love doing that. I was so blessed to do that. And I would love to do that for you if you want me to. But, don't make your family shuffle through those things. Don't be a person who holds on to all of your memories. Sure, memories, they're tough to let go of. Hold on to a few precious things. But, as we begin to age, start tapering down the amount of stuff that you have. It's just not necessary. Start giving it away. Bless people. Bless them. So plan your estate. Who's going to get what? Who's the executrix? Are you going to do a trust fund? Are you going to donate money to the ASPC? Are you going to, give it to some kind of organization? Pre-plan those things. So again, no fighting, no argument. I've seen this many times. Somebody's getting ready to die, and I've been with these people for years. Never saw this person, and then somebody hears their loved one is sick, and they're coming into saying goodbye. That person can't hear them anymore. They're in there pouring their hearts out, maybe seeing if they're in the will. I don't know, but don't do that. Connect with people. Connect with people. Write all of your personal stuff down. Create a book that you can give to somebody, or somebody knows where it's at, where everything's planned. If you have CDs, you have bonds, you have coin collection, get all that stuff in order. My grandmother had precious pictures and a very good coin collection. We had some kind of devious parts in our family that came in and literally stole all of our coins, took pictures that were precious, filled a bathtub up, put all of those pictures in that bathtub, destroyed our memories of our family because they had so much hatred in their hearts. They were on drugs and they had other issues. I don't know what caused them to do that, but things like that can happen and you just don't know. So protect your stuff, your precious memories, and start creating time capsules for your children. Do that, and your children will love you for it. And they can pass it on to their kids, and they need to start doing that. Time capsules for each kid, get all your finances planned out. That's for sure. Make a recording or a video for your family. Do what I'm doing. This is not hard to do. A lot of people think this is, I'm sorry. A lot of people think this is very intimidating. It's not. You know what? Turn the camera on, get a tripod. This is a selfie stick. It's got a tripod on the end. So record a video. If you hate it, erase it. Do it a couple times. But just say, this is what I want to pass on to you. This is what I've learned in life. Record your eulogy. Record a special message for your great-great-great-grandchildren that you won't get to meet. You know, stuff like that. You can leave a legacy behind. Create a video. It's not hard to do, I promise you. And your family will love you for it. Decide about the treasures that you want to leave for them. Time capsules. Give them a treasure right now while you're still alive. You know, watch them, you know, put on that special necklace or that ring, or, you know, if they're small children, of course you want to save it, but that would mean so much to somebody, and you get to see their face. You get to see the face when they receive that gift. So, you know, bless somebody like that. And planning these things will alleviate your family as well as you having to decide if you're infirmed, if you have Alzheimer's, if you have something happen and you can't remember these things, or you become incapable of it. You got it done. You got it finished. Don't leave it undone for your family to do. All the squabbles, all the bitterness. Listen, my mother died January 9th. I have some very bitter people in my family. I still don't. My mother died January 26th. My birthday is the 24th. My family didn't even tell me. I don't know where my mother's buried. I didn't get any of her artwork. I got nothing. I got a ring that she left at my house when she moved out. I got some pictures that she left, very few. But as far as any of her personal possessions, paintings, my mother was an artist, writings, I don't even know where she is. I don't know where her ashes are. And that's a sad story, and I don't say that for pity, but I tell you, don't leave that to people, because you're going to have somebody end up doing something like that. And then, you know, I've had to live with that, and I've had to live with kind of the bitterness in my heart that somebody in my family would do that. My own sister, my own flesh and blood sister, and my other sisters all decided to get together and decided I didn't need to know anything about Mom. So I find that very sad, but you know what? God will take care of that. God will sort that out. I forgive them for doing that. I hold nothing against my mother. You know, I'm okay. I'm okay with all of that. And, you know, so just beware that things like that can happen, and you just don't, you know, you don't want to leave it to chance. But, so I love this card. It says, I release anxious thoughts and replace them with calmness. So when you're having anxiety, something comes against you, you're making decisions and you don't feel, you know, completely good about decisions you have to make. You know, you have to release those thoughts. Breathe in, breathe out, and pray to God. Say, God, what would you have me to do? And maybe when you are having a situation like that, maybe making that decision or going through that experience, it just isn't the time. Maybe you need to step back and just wait and revisit it. Pray about it. It makes a big difference. And it says, challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. That is a beautiful saying. We all have challenges. Some of us more severe than others. We can be angry, we can be bitter, we can be lots of things, but through those challenges that are happening to you, they're happening for you. They are meant to teach you. The Lord is presenting a lesson for you to learn. Just be open to see what that is. It may not be a lesson that you want to learn, but be open to get that message from God, that God is trying to teach you something, especially if messages or situations keep recurring over and over again. God's trying to tell you something. And finally, great things never come from your comfort zone. So I don't know if you can really see that. That's kind of a hard one to see. But in all estate planning and all the things, the challenges that we're meant to do, you know, it's very easy to fall into that comfort zone and just do everything, the same thing every day. Having to make hard decisions for change, for you know, all kind of things that can be super challenging and can be tough. But through those things that happen, growth happens. I challenge you all to learn from these experiences, and as you grow, to let the love of God shine through you and let go of the things of the world and develop your relationship with your loved ones, and most of all with God and you. Life is challenging, but it can be beautiful if you make it beautiful. And I thank you today for joining me on Porch Talk. I pray that you will join me every day for new talks, and I also have new content. I'll be releasing shorts and things like that. But check out my content, like, share, comment, and subscribe for me, please, so I can make more videos for you. I love you. I say all these things in blessing, and may God comfort you and keep you in His arms, okay? I love everybody. Have a great day. Bye. Mwah. Join me on Porch Talk tomorrow.